Hello, we're gonna see how to tackle this triangle in order to find X, Y, and Z. I usually start by highlighting or working with the entire triangle. So this is the big triangle. And I'm gonna sketch this triangle, but I want the 90-degree angle to be down here. So that means that I'm using this as my 90-degree angle. So if that's 90, the hypotenuse is always opposite to the 90-degree angle. So that means that this is the hypotenuse. So I'm gonna try to replicate this here. So opposite to the 90-degree angle is the hypotenuse, and that side is 4 plus 9. This segment is 4, and the segment is 9. So this side is actually 13. Then I'm gonna try to identify this side. So if you notice, I'm gonna start labeling the opposite side to the 90-degree angle is the segment AB. And that means that the 90-degree angle is C. So if I wanna identify this, that is the shortest of the three sides. So that means that that side right there is gonna be Y, and opposite B, so if this is B, that means that opposite B we have angle Z. Let's try to retrace our steps. So if C is the 90-degree angle, in front of C we have the hypotenuse, so that is exactly what we have here, C, and 13 in front. Then we have B with Z in front, so that's happening here as well. And we have A with Y in front. So looks like we have successfully rotated and reflected the first triangle. Now let's jump into the second triangle. Oops. I'm gonna use a different color. So now let's focus on the second triangle, which is the one that is already in the exact position we want that triangle to be. That means that this is our 90-degree angle. And we're gonna try to replicate that triangle. Once again, we need the triangle to be in that exact position to match the other triangle we have up there. So this is our 90. So if this is 90, that means that we're standing at D. I'm gonna put the D over here. And in front of D, we have side Z or Z. So I'm gonna put that over there. And over here, I already covered that, but that is side X. So that means that this is angle A. So opposite the 90-degree angle, we always have the hypotenuse. So that means that this is our hypotenuse. Then opposite A, we have the shortest side. So that is X. And down here we have side with a length of 4. Now, we have to go over the other side. So I'm gonna highlight the other triangle. So the last triangle is the smallest triangle of the three. And that's this triangle right here. So that triangle has the 90-degree angle here. So in front of that 90-degree angle, we have Y. So I'm gonna sketch the final triangle. This is 90. So in front of the 90-degree angle, we have y. So that means that this side is y. The shortest side is 9. So that is a 9. And then we have the x over here. So it looks like the triangle is C, meaning this angle. Then we have the 90 as D, and we have B up here. So those are our three triangles. The hardest part, I believe, because now it's just about finding the perfect match between the sides. So let's try to connect the sides. So looks like this one right here, that is the side that is 4. So this side is 4. So that side corresponds to this side down here. So those two sides are corresponding, just like this side corresponds to this side. So I'm going to go from blue to black. So I'm going to write the blue ones. I'm going to do 4 and then divided by the black triangle, the corresponding side. So it's going to be 4 and I'm jumping to x. 4 divided by x is equal to, and now I'm going from this side, x, to the side that has a length of 1. So I'm going to write x divided by 9. Once I have that proportion, I'm going to solve for x. So that means that I'm going to end up with 4 times 9 is equal to x times x. And this is 36 equals x squared. So that means that x is equal to 6. So I'm going to start putting those values around for me to keep track of my values. So this x is equal to 6, and the other x is also equal to 6. So now that I have a bit more information, I can use that in order for me to find the other sides. So let's say I want to find, we can say I can find y, and in order to find y, I can use the big triangle. So this is my y over here, and that y corresponds to this 9 down here. So I can go from y divided by 9 to perhaps this 13 to this y. So I'm going to go from 13 to y. So those are the corresponding sides. So I'm going to write 13 divided by y. And once again, I'm going to solve for y. So that's y times y equals 9 times 13. This is y squared is equal to 9 times 13. And y is equal to the square root of 9 times 13. The square root of 9 is 3. So y is equal to 3 times the square root of 13. So that means that substitute the y values here. So this y is equal to 3 times the square root of 13. And down here, this is equal to 3 times the square root of 13. So we're just missing the last variable. And for that, we can use pretty much any triangle. But if you want to keep the same method, we could say that We have this 4 corresponds to this z, and this one corresponds to this 13. So I'm going from a 4 to a z, and from a z to a 13. Once again, I'm going to solve for my variable. So that's 4 times 13 equals z squared. And I'm going to need the square root. So square root of 4 times 13 equals z. And at the end, we have 2 times the square root of 13. So that was our only missing value. So let's use that. So this right here is equal to 2 times the square root of 13 and 2 times the square root of 13. So now if I want to put everything together, this side up here, this side was 2 times the square root of 13. Then this side, the y, was 3 times the square root of 13. And the x was simply 6 with those values that we were given. So this is how you could do it. At some point, if you have 2 out of 3 sides, you can use the Pythagorean theorem in order to find the other sides. So let's say you have 4, you have this as 6, and you're missing this one. You can simply say that z squared is equal to 6 squared plus 4 squared. And this is going to be equal to the square root of 36 plus 16. And you could complete the process, and at the end, you could simplify this into 2 times the square root of 13. So either way, you're going to get to the answer, but the best idea is to sketch your 3 triangles and always identify the 90-degree angle. Once you have the 90-degree angle, the first triangle, this is the 90-degree angle. The one in front is your hypotenuse. And after that is just about finding the right connection.